He asked me.
Do you have an OnlyFans?
Nah, not your leg on me.
Oh, please.
God, here
I
you
wish
go
I had
again.
money.
I ain't got no money, bro.
You don't?
No, I don't. I'm broke. I'm unemployed right now. We'll get to that later, probably.
But he drives a Tesla.
Okay.
And can still pay his Tesla off while he's unemployed. Your take on Instagram. How has Instagram affected you positively and negatively? Let's start with the positive first.
I think that what I like about Instagram, and I think this is probably a feature of getting older. Well, I mean, like, you know, especially as you get into your 30s, you know, you're starting to work more, you're busier.
Okay.
You don't get a chance to like catch up with your friends as much and see what they're doing. Facebook, to me, let me just be clear, Facebook is a dead thing. I have a Facebook, I do not use it, and I'm
I
probably going to
think
delete it.
that Facebook, so I deleted my Facebook 10 years ago.
Yeah, and I should have
So
done
I
that.
deleted my Facebook undergrad 2012.
I graduated.
You finished your master's degree 2012?
I graduated undergrad. You funny. Instagram is great because it allows me to check up on my friends in a non-intrusive way to just see. Like, I think the beautiful thing about capturing, and I'm not really an artistic person. I wouldn't count myself as artistic, but the beautiful thing about Instagram is that you can capture all the highlights of your life. You know, in picture form, and as opposed to kind of describing, I can see those happy moments or those sad moments. And granted, like, I recognize that, like, with any social media, people are curating their social media space, but I like it for that reason. It's low lift, low commitment. I ain't got to do much. I just kind of like a picture. If I want to do a small comment, I can. Okay.
How has it affected you negatively?
I think that Instagram, the downside of pictures is that, you know, you see people's experiences, and even though you know that their experiences or the pictures that they post are curated, I think that you can easily make points of comparison. You can begin to compare yourself or measure yourself up to other people and what they're doing in their lives. Like, if somebody's always like, oh, I got this promotion, I just finished school, look at this new car, look at my nigga, look at my body, look at this, you like, well, fuck, like, I'm sitting here very flabby under this fleece, eating, you know, Talenti ice cream, doing nothing with my life, and so after I leave here,
Oh,
my
mood.
I'm going to be that will be me. But you have to, at a certain point, also know how to disengage from Instagram as well, because we have to. Even if you, and I come back to this point, even if you constantly recognize that people only show the good shit in their lives, that they're only projecting all the positive stuff, it nonetheless weighs on you very heavily. Like, I think that particularly body image, you know, I think my body's fine. You know, I'm not cut up. I ain't, you know, 220 pounds, you know, 10%, you know, body fat, but I think my body's fine.
10%.
But it is, you know, nonetheless, it can weigh on the subconscious when you, or your mind when you are constantly seeing people, everybody posting from the gym, and particularly not just posting from the gym, like in like baggy clothes. Like, they got them the most contoured, sleek clothes. You can see every muscle, every vein. And you be like, damn, like, I'm lazy as fuck. Like, I need to be doing something. And
That'd be me. I literally posted something on my story. I posted on my close friends, and it was of this one guy, and I said, bitch, I need to go to the gym tonight.
Yeah. So to this point, I was talking to a friend about this. Even the idea of like people needing to check in on Instagram or on like social media, check in with their audience about them like going to the gym, and like some people will frame it as like, I need it for accountability. There's a politics of laziness that's connected to the gym, but particularly publicly telling people that you're going to the gym, right? Because if you're not at the gym, it's like the language around it, like, you know, get up, you know, we got to get it in, you know, like, you know, it's to imply there's an implication of you're being lazy if you're not going to the gym, as opposed to like recognizing that, like, I have a completely full life, there are other things going on with myself, and because I'm not going to the gym today or tomorrow doesn't mean I'm lazy. It means that, like, I'm living a complex life, and so nobody's ever going to tell. Like, if I worked a 12 or 13-hour day at a law firm and I don't go to the gym, like, can't nobody tell me I'm lazy. I'm prioritizing what I'm putting my energy towards, and so I have a whole theory on like why people check in so much when they're in the gym, or why they post from the gym, or why it's some of it accountability perhaps, but it is to align yourself with that image that I am not lazy and I'm fit and I'm taking care of my body, right? So I have some deeper thoughts on that. We'll get on that later. So Instagram, good for many reasons, but I think the comparison part for our generation and particularly for the young people too.
What do you consider young?
I'm like 70 at this point.
In gay years, you are.
I am. I'm an uncle. I'm literally an uncle, and I'm an uncle. Not daddy status yet. I gotta get more money, but we're getting there. I would say that for those who were like in high school, like early college, high school, the body positivity issues that come along with that, high rates of suicide, the idea of liking, what that means to like somebody's post, to be affirmed, to be, for somebody to say that what I'm posting, my body, my image, my face, my job, that those things are socially acceptable as opposed to finding intrinsic value in those things. That's difficult because you fear that we're creating a generation of people who they are framing all of their life choices around how those choices will be accepted by the rest of the world as opposed to what makes them happy.
Okay.
I bet you, I have this belief, I bet you that you would have less people who are always running. They would have less people who would be going to the gym if they didn't give a fuck about, if they didn't have like these immediate like kind of points of connection, of communication where like their body.
If there was no social media.
Yeah. Well, if it was just, even if there was social media existed, if there were either fewer interactions with social media, I think people would care less about it. And not say they wouldn't be healthy or fit, but there wouldn't be the need to.
What I can say is that like I've been like on this fitness journey for like the past year now of me trying to consistently go to the gym, and meal prep and eat right.
Yeah.
Social media has had a great impact on that
Yeah.
because you'll look at people, you'll be like, damn, and like. In the beginning, I was ashamed to admit this, but now that I'm realizing that everyone feels this way. Like I think that we've all consumed enough social media for it to allow it to affect us negatively.
Yeah.
So like I don't mind saying that it has definitely like persuade me to get into the gym because I thought negatively of myself by seeing other people post.
Yeah.
Needless to say, what I can say is that after I did work out and I started to get a little bit more firm and this started to lift a little bit more, even though it's still a little flat, I felt so much better about going to the gym is still great.
Yes, I want to be clear. I'm not saying it's not. Yeah.
I start bashing you.
All you niggas are mentally ill.
No, I'm joking, but like but I'm trying to still bring light to it. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Like though it may like negatively like make you feel bad about yourself.
Yeah.
I think that we can still kind of switch that into, okay, let me allow this to influence me.
Yeah, I think that there's nothing wrong, and I want to be clear. There's nothing wrong with like being influenced by what other people are doing. I think what I'm saying is that people become so fixated on it that
It's a fixate. Yeah.
that they can't. I'll say it like this: they become so fixated on it that they can't find value in who they are if they did not have those things, right?
Okay.
So I always ask the question: if the goal was not to look good naked, right, and it was truly for health, but your body wouldn't be cut, would you still do it? What I'm trying to say is, and this can be applied to other things too: jobs we have, the people we date. And social media can have those effects on telling us this is the ideal of what you want to do. It's not so much about, it's nothing wrong with being influenced and wanting to go to the gym. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to look good either. I think what I'm saying is that I'm trying to live a life right now where I'm constantly asking myself, is this something that Travis wants to do? Or is this something that I'm doing in response to what I think would be socially acceptable or would bring me more external affirmation? How do I find that inner peace? How do I find that inner satisfaction with me if the world never sees me?
Okay.
And so there's a balance in that.
So what's your take on imposter syndrome?
It's a real thing. I've had it before. I've experienced it. I think I'm a first generation college graduate. As I mentioned before, I went to law school. Went into an all-white firm for 2 years. I was not from a top 10 undergraduate institution, and my law school was not, Ivy League either, or top 10, top 20. And so
Don't do Howard like that.
Well, I'm just saying, just in terms of rankings, I think Howard Law was great. To be clear, I went to Morehouse undergrad and Howard for law school, and so when you go into those spaces, immediately you assume that there's something deficient about the education that you have. Mm-hmm. And so anytime that you're like doing, work, producing work product for, your superiors or your bosses, when you're engaging in conversation, you are stressing over every detail, every, place of, incorrect grammar that slips out when you're having a conversation, or, the way that you feel, like the way you walk, the way you present yourself. There's always this fear that like, I am not matching the culture here, or that I am not sufficient. And so, at a certain point, I had to get to a place where I'm like, well, look, if they don't like it, if this ain't the place for me, I'm gonna get fired, I'm gonna keep moving. If it's that bad. And
what made you get to that point?
It's being anxious is tiring.
And
it's tiring.
It's so tiring.
It's tiring.
Oh my God, it's like weights that you just want to drop off.
I was like, I don't have time for this anymore. I want to enjoy life. I want to walk in the world. Like, one thing I love about people who are like not self-aware is they have this gall. They have this unmitigated, just
free.
Yeah, this almost free kind of confidence. And even though it's terrible for the people who consume it, right? Like, it's like, nigga, you're a terrible person. You don't get how you affect other people. What I love about it, and I admire about it,
affect other people.
I'm just saying, people who are not self-aware, sometimes they just are very, very just
selfish.
They're just into themselves. Like, they are very like, they do what the fuck they want to.
Not everyone.
So maybe that's not the right. Maybe self-aware is not the word. People who are. Well, for people who walk in the world without.
So I have to accommodate you because I'm self-aware. So let me bring myself down to make you feel more comfortable.
No. What I'm saying is, what I admire about them is that they have the ability to just be. They just have the confidence there. They don't give a fuck if they are talented. Like there's a few people I'm talking about in particular. They just have this. They are so. They're so self-centered, and they think everything they do is right, and they
We're talking about arrogant people.
Yeah, arrogant people. That's probably the word I'm looking for. I admire it in a way because it's like you don't walk around with the weight of anxiety. Or at least I don't think you do. You don't look that way. And I want to walk in the world with all that I've done, and I don't think I'm a terrible person. I don't think I negatively affect people's lives, but I want to one day walk in the world with that level of freedom and just that to have that weight off your shoulder. And so anxiety's tiring.
And you alone have made enough accomplishments to have that, to kind of have that flaunt about you to walk around like someone who is of arrogance.
It made it maybe my anxiety. I would say no. I would say that like I've done something that thousands of other people have done, and real accomplishment and success, I haven't gotten there yet. Like, I'm happy for the things I've done, but there's a litany of things that I want to do. But anxiety will put you in a place or will position you to not acknowledge those milestones in your life, and so I'm trying to do better with that.
Do you think? So, for instance, if you're an alcoholic, they say that you're always an alcoholic. You just have to learn how to maintain it.
Yeah.
So you can never get over alcoholism. You just have to learn how to maintain sobriety.
Yeah.
Do you think, I bring that up to say, do you think that's the same with anxiety? Do you think that anxiety will ever go away, or you just have to know how to maintain it?
So anxiety to me is inherent. It's an inherent thing that everybody deals with. Anxiety comes from a natural kind of nature's gift of worry.
It's like a fight or flight.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what it is? Fight or flight?
The response. Worry is to give us caution and to help us to perceive the outer world in a way that we don't make any dangerous or fatal decisions. And so worry is not a bad thing at base. It's not.
I'm happy you said that. You're letting at least me and everyone else know that it is normal.
Oh, it's very normal. And it's
I'd be thinking I'm the only bitch who got it.
No, I think once again, talk about projection.
It be feeling like I'm the only one who have it.
It's the most isolating feeling in the world.
Yes, it's so isolating.
Well, it's because it's worry, but it's also worry about things that we are afraid to also express.
Vocalize.
Yes, exactly. And so if we are afraid to express it for fear of being defenseless or opening up ourselves to criticism or attack, then it creates a space where we just fall deeper and deeper into it, right? Mm-hmm. Anxiety becomes our lonely friend because I'm afraid to talk to everybody else. It's a weird kind of sometimes we get pleasure out of self-pity in a weird way, right?
I'm not denying that.
We get a pleasure because it's the only place where we feel centered and seen. We create our own narrative.
But I'm not necessarily. So I've definitely sat in my own pity.
Yeah.
And like.
Nobody loves me. Giving very Eeyore. Oh,
like,
no.
Have you ever like played a song to like pronounce your depression?
Oh yeah.
Like, bitch, I need to play this because it's gonna make my depression even harder.
Right.
Like, and that's what I be.
Most people listen to SZA. I'm gonna get attacked in the comments. I don't care. Drag me. Yeah. I'm sorry.
The 3 comments.
Yeah.
The 3 comments. I mean, I listen to SZA. We're not gonna get into that right now.
Scissors. That's what I call it. That's a joke.
Are you? Well, first off, wait.
Actually,
we're gonna go back to. Yeah, I'm like, are we bashing SZA?
I think her music sometimes be like, God damn, damn, when are you happy? And I get that it's a reflection of a part of her life, so I get it. But I'm like, Jesus, I could.
Don't let Nick be back there. Nick, you hear this?
I was in the car with my friend listening to SZA. I'm like, it is a warm day. It is great. Put something else on.
But people need. I'm not saying that that's all the music that she does. Ooh.
Same.
Well,
same.
Summer Walker's music is a little bit more.
Yes.
First off,
no.
I love Summer Walker. We're not bashing Summer Walker either.
I agree.
But
no, you're right. I'm gonna take them all.
But
no, she's great. I think
SZA is a lot more alternative when it comes to her music. I think that Summer has kind of like one depressing sound, and that's kind of it.
Yes.
But what's wrong with having your niche?
No, I get it. That's definitely it. That's just not my niche. That's just not my. It's not my niche. Listen. I'm here for it. You like scissors? I'm happy.
And I love Summer Walker.
Yeah. Also too, I also tried to stray away from listening to music that like reminds me of my sadness, my worry.
But going back into the self pity, that's a real thing.
I got dragged in the comments, y'all. You see how they
the 2 comments.
Both y'all comments. There we go.
Well,
there we go.
But yeah, so the
stop.
But I definitely think that's a thing though. Like kind of just sitting in your own self pity. Yeah. Like, have you saw The Grinch and he was just like
yes
he was looking at his calendar. He was like sitting in my own self pity. Like
that's the thing. But I think we sit in it because
is that supposed to make us feel better?
I think we want to feel justified for how we feel.
Okay, that's a good point.
There is some part of worry, anxiety, depression, all because I think they all are like cousins in the same family. They're just different. They have different functions, but there is something about wanting to be. You can become the hero of your story by also being the victim. If that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. And it's because we want to be seen for what we're going through. We want somebody to justify, to acknowledge, to tell us that that our grievance or the thing that was visited upon us, that the source of our anxiety, the source of our fear, the source of our worry, that it's unfair. So that's why we have that urge to like sit in it and to hear things that affirm that, because we want we want that woe is me story to some extent, and there's nothing wrong with sometimes having a moment where you need to just feel like, fuck, just tell me that like life is fucking hard for me. Like just tell me that like shit was not fair. Tell me that like I was wrong, right? Because you want to. It don't feel good to like go through shit and people just be like, get over it. No, sometimes I need somebody to acknowledge that you have put forth your best effort, and still your best effort or your love or your commitment just wasn't enough. Mm-hmm. And that was not fair to you. But the problem is that we can't stay there. Mm-hmm. And coming back to anxiety is, I think, learned is learned avoidance. It is learned.
It's definitely avoidance.
Yes, it's definitely avoidance. It's learned avoidance over time. We've gone through so many traumatic things. We've experienced things that have been hurtful or painful. And as opposed to just kind of like rushing into the battle again, he's like, I'm going to sit in the trenches. Fuck this. or
because
like
that's also what you're used to too.
Yeah.
Well, not you, but like just in general. Like
Yeah.
I think that we're used to sitting in our own self pity
Yeah.
if you've done it for so long that you don't know how to go against like your own anxiety.
yeah.
Do you know what you're doing with your life right now?
No, I don't.
I know that was so like vague, but
No,
like,
it's-
do you know what you're doing with your life?
No, I don't.
How do you navigate not knowing what you're doing? Because I joke around and I tell bitches all the time, I do not know what I'm doing. And I try to give myself a little bit of grace because none of us have lived this life before to have instructions on what to do.
Yeah.
Like I've never been 29 before to know how to go about operating in my 29-year-old lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to give myself grace. But it's hard because it's just like when you hate your job and you also don't know what you want to do for a living. Like that's it. First of all, I'm not
Yes.
talking about you, but most
No, I mean,
of
like, it's a
my
real thing.
issues, like you hate your job, but you also don't know what you want to do.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, well, bitch, I want to leave my job, but where on Indeed am I gonna apply? because I don't know.
Because I don't-
I don't know what I want to do. And so
it's also so I feel that's very spiritually. I've always been a person who I learned. Somebody could tell me something. I've not been an experiential learner. So like, you know, if your mama said, "Don't put your finger in the electric socket," I never did it. I was like, okay. She said it's dangerous, it's bad. You know, my little brother, however, he was a little experiential. So he go put his finger in the socket. He learned from the mistake. I've always been a listener. But all the listening, all the mentorship, all the help I've gotten from multiple people over the course of my life has not prepared me for, could not have truly prepared me for life and what you experience in your 20s and 30s, because it's nothing but, and especially there's layers to it too. So like if you like first generation college or like first generation of moving away from where your family's from, or like if you are the first in any way, you are laden with all these feelings and emotions that you can't really turn to nobody who you are close to or who kind of knows you to get that advice. And so it can be isolating. No, I don't know. Just to give you kind of a background, I graduated law school in 2020, which was like a rough year for everything that happened. Started a law firm that September. Over the course of that summer, lost my grandmother. She had a sudden heart attack. Thank you for that. Had a sudden heart attack. Couldn't take the bar exam because of COVID. I contracted COVID. Started work in September. Had to take the bar in February of 2021. Failed. Had to take it in July of 2021. Failed again. In the midst of like working and figuring out life and other family issues. Took it again in February 2022, passed, you know, now fully licensed, things like that, praise God. But
and he was just recently sworn in at Virginia Supreme Court.
After months, that was, thank you. After months, once again, praise God. And then in September of 2022, I quit my job. And I quit because I think, one, I had just a lot of emotional pressure built up. That I needed to kind of like I needed my mind and my soul to rest. And then two, I really didn't like the work I was doing. I'm an environmental lawyer, or was an environmental lawyer. It was a great job, getting paid well, but it didn't speak to me. And it felt like a stupid decision in the moment. I want to be clear. It felt like a stupid decision in the moment. Yeah, because like you leaving a lot of money on the table. I did not have a next step. But it was the right decision for me. And so, now I'm still unemployed, looking for work right now. Have a few interviews coming up, so we're getting towards the end of that.
Thank you for being transparent.
Oh yeah, like no, I appreciate the question, because I think that question of what we are doing, even the people who, you know, on the outside seem as though they have it all together. They have the degrees, they have the connections. You know, they got the OnlyFans, okay? They got the BBL. Okay, everybody who you think got it all, don't got it all. They don't got it all, and
they don't know what they're doing either.
No. And I think I journaled quite extensively for the past, and we've talked about this before. In the past 3 years, I've really journaling used to be a chore and a task. Now it's like a blessing, and so journaling for me has been the place where I was honest with myself that I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
To have to like write down on a piece of paper, Travis, after all the money you've invested in these degrees, after moving to, moving and living in several cities and taking these jobs and doing all this stuff to kind of set your life up. To admit to myself, I did all this shit and still don't know where I'm going next. It was the most rending thing I've ever done, but it was the most freeing thing I ever did. And this process of being unemployed, while it's had its financial kind of constraints, has been wonderful as well. It's been a place where I finally just was able to lay back and say, the only things that really matter at this point are your commitment to your own success and you being open to kind of go with the flow. Life is like a river in many ways. And I used to hear, people make this analogy, and I thought it was like very hippie-ish, like, okay, these people don't work and don't have like a sense of career. No, life is like a river.
That was very
yeah, it was like very
that was very elitist of you.
Very Republican. Very Republican. But like life is like a river. Like at a certain point, sometimes life is taking you on a journey that you would not, of your own volition, you wouldn't have taken yourself on. Because I think our immediate drivers are stability and a form of affirmation of what we're doing. And so if I'm not feeling stable financially, if I'm not getting kind of external affirmation for what I'm doing, I ain't gonna do it. And sometimes you need to go through those moments where life is teaching you about skills or interests or things that you would have never touched had you only been focusing on the money, the job title, the organization, the prestige, the Instagram post. And so, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing right now, but I like it. I mean, I would like
that was cute.
I like a couple
I'm
dollars.
gonna have to steal that.
I like it.
That was cute.
Okay.
Because I wake up every morning getting ready for work, saying I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I don't end it with I like it. I end it with another moan or another and then go to work.
Yeah.
But I think I need to find the beauty of knowing that this isn't the end point for me, and that this is something that is not potentially, but is strengthening me in the long run. Because again, where I'll be in 6 months is not where I'm going to be now, and I need to put that into retrospect. But I definitely like the idea of you not knowing what you're doing, but you liking it because it's kind of giving you the free will of developing a new Travis 6 months from now. You're not like constrained to anything.
And I also think it's important to note there's nothing wrong with not appreciating a moment in a moment. I was I can't forget the name of the Instagram page. Speaking of Instagram again, there's a gospel singer, Chandler Moore. He was being interviewed by this like Christian artist or creative like Instagram page, and he talked about beware of trying to name a season while you're in that season. And that hit me. This is around the time I like was deciding if I was going to quit my job, and I was in a season of like, God, I have everything I asked for. I'm a lawyer. I'm at a big law firm. I'm making.
You have a Tesla.
Okay. Yes, I have a Tesla. Who knows? It may be gone soon. I'm like, God, I had everything I want, but I'm not happy. And I could not appreciate why I was in that moment. And now, months later, I'm able to kind of define that season of my life. But that's with like hindsight and retrospection, In the moment, you may not appreciate this place where you are, but it may become apparent later on, and the appreciation and the ability to leverage the lessons of this place in life may happen, 4 or 5 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, a decade later. That's the strange thing about life, right?
I'll put that in my life.
Hopefully not. Yeah, I'm just right. Like
I'm being funny.
For you, I mean like tomorrow, and everything blow up.
Today,
right? You get corporate sponsorship today. But like, it's okay to like. Joy is not about finding joy in life. Is not about finding happiness all the time. Joy is, for me, like I said before, like I'm in a place where I don't have the money like I used to. I can't do all the things I used to do before. But I get up in the morning and I'm finding new joy in the fact that like I can read, like I used to like really like reading. I can read a lot more. I can get up in the morning, not rushing out the door at 6 a.m. or start getting on my computer, starting work at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. I can make breakfast for myself. I can work out. I can stretch. I can take a walk. I'm enjoying the space of being with me. even though there may be other parts of my life that may not be ideal. And so I'm trying to find joy. Happiness to me, happiness is important, and people should experience happiness. But happiness to me sometimes is responding to the things that I want. I'm happy because I have the things I need, and I'm learning things about myself. It's hard, and that takes a process to kind of get to that joy space. But yeah, like I said, not ideal, but I am happy where I am. I'm happy about what I learned in this time, in this season. So when I'm back working at a law firm, I'm making, $2 million every year. They don't be only overlaid by the fact that I've learned a lot about who I am subconsciously, and I can add those two things together.
Your book that you got me. So Nick, you got me a book.
Oh God.
Create Your Own Calm.
It's a great
You
book.
bought me this a while ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So we went out to Nomad.
Yep.
This was a while ago.
That was like 2 years ago, right?
This was not 2 years. It was definitely 2022.
Okay, fine.
It was like the fall. It was like
He got angry. You saw that? He got real angry. It wasn't that long. Okay, sorry.
right. I don't know why. That was like less than 7 months ago.
Probably. Okay.
Or a year ago.
Okay.
You said 2. Okay, whatever. He got me a book because we were talking about anxiety. But I wanted to kind of share this with you and ask you some questions.
Yeah, okay.
Do you have the same book?
I do, but I haven't finished that book.
Okay. So I'm just gonna ask you a few questions. Now, I do have another podcast after this.
Okay.
I ain't kicking you out. You can definitely stay and enjoy some cheese.
I'm definitely gonna drink some more champagne, so I don't know what you're talking
Period.
about.
So, outside of you buying me this book, I definitely was reading this, and it was really helpful. What I've realized is that I like books that are engaging.
Yes.
Eventually, you get tired of just reading
prose.
Print.
Yeah, exactly.
Fine line print. Like, you just get tired of it. So one of the questions that I want to start off with asking is, think about a difficulty you're currently experiencing, and what is that light in the situation?
I kind of shared a little bit about my unemployment situation. I will say that the difficulty in it is that naturally one of the things, identities I've accepted and I've taken on is like I want to be a provider, and not just for myself but for my family. And so my mom has been like the source, the rock, the hero of my life. And so, she is getting older, and I want to be able to be supportive and like help to take on a lot of those financial burdens and necessities for her. My brother just had a baby 2 years ago. My first nephew, TJ.
You have nieces?
No, this is my first.
Oh,
I'm a new uncle.
Okay,
I'm a gunkle, I guess.
A what?
Gunkle, gay uncle. Apparently, something.
I've never heard that.
It's probably a white thing. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll eat that.
I've never heard that.
And so one of the anxieties that I have is about not being able to like kind of ramp up, make enough money where I can like support my nephew, or help my brother to like fill the gap when my nephew has needs, and to also like make sure that my mom has as she gets older, that she has a calm and worry-free rest of her years. I mean, she's very young. She's like 50 something. I ain't gonna say her full age. She'd beat my ass. Got out of a relationship a while ago. I'm talking about the second thing I was gonna say. Got a relationship a while ago, and I think right now I'm in the process of, even though I'm like over it, you still grieve the person that you once had, and I'm in a space right now where I'm trying to both acknowledge that's over, and to also build for the future, the partner that I want to be. And I think the light in that grief is that, and I call it grief not like I'm crying every day. Listen to SZA or some Walker, but the benefit of it is that I'm learning a lot about myself and what I need. And I think in the past, I was somebody who was in a relationship. I just wanted to make the other person happy and never really asked myself questions. And I think I'm now becoming a more self-determined and more assertive person as it relates to being in a relationship. And with my mother, the light is that I'm learning that everything is not on me. I've had to accept, because of this moment in my life, that I don't control everything, and so I can't put that pressure on myself. And also, I'm also learning what I love and what I want to do, and it makes it easier for me to be able to transition into a role where I can make money and do what I like. So,
Next question.
I talk a lot. Sorry.
No, you're
Okay.
fine.
You sure?
I mean, this is a podcast.
Okay.
I would hope you would talk.
All right. All right.
Can you list 3 things now, even though we're on time crunch?
Just tell me. Condense. He's like, go ahead.
What are 3 things that you're grateful for?
I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for an amazing group of friends from high school and from college and even here from law school. People who just really have a great community, and I count you in that too. You've been
thank you.
We've had like very intimate conversations, and I really appreciate the transparency that we've had with one another. And I am appreciating the difficulties of my 30s. I will say the end of my 20s, my 30s. I feel like this is the one time in my life where I'm truly seeing who I really am. Before I thought I had a glimpse, a hint, a whiff of who I am. I am in the most honest stage of my life with myself. I look in the mirror.
You're like, what, 34?
30. Calm down.
Oh.
32.
Oh.
Calming down. It's like, whoa.
Sorry.
But those difficulties, I would not. There's something about trouble that helps you to learn yourself better. Because when things good, you ain't questioning shit. You ain't thinking about shit. You're like, oh, everything's great.
That was me like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell me nothing at 24.
Please, at all. I'm going to change the world. I'm going to be president of the United States at 28, even though technically you're going to run at 35. But I knew I was going to make it happen.
You couldn't tell me nothing at 24.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
And now, you can tell me a lot.
I want you to tell me, okay? I'm at the point where I'm like, please tell me, because I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Wait, did you name 3?
Yeah.
You said
my family, my friends, and the difficulties in my 30s.
Okay.
Yep.
And last one. What is a dream you're afraid of pursuing?
So I will say this, out of respect for my dreams, I won't be specific, but I think that there's been something since I had a little dream when I was 10 years old. I told my mom about it. And I think so that there's something that I knew was going to be the goal of my life. I think for most of my life, given what I just told you earlier, I've tried to like secure the bag, make sure I'm financially stable, make sure my family's good. And I think I've been so consumed with like making money and being successful and getting the accolades that I haven't leaned into this like very, very blatant, this is what you need to be doing. And so that thing, I believe that I'm at a place in my life where if I don't do it, God's going to thrust me into it, and I want to walk very willingly into it. And so that's something I'm working on right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah. How'd I do?
Well, that's all I got.
I said, how did I do?
Oh, the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh.
he's like, that's all I got. I was like, okay.
No, I can tell that you're used to speaking amongst a crowd of people. No?
I mean, you make it very comfortable. You gave me champagne. I had,
You have snacks.
We had a great charcuterie board over here.
Charcuterie board. Some of you girls don't even offer that. You don't even know what a charcuterie board is.
You see that Zeus Network coming up out of here?
Zeus Network?
Okay, sorry, Bravo.
Zeus Network, they don't know what a charcuterie board is.
You're right. Sorry, Candace.
Candace?
Yeah, you give Candace.
I'm not. You give Natalie none.
That's a lie.
You give Natalie. If I give Candace, you give Natalie none.
That's a lie.
What's wrong with Natalie none?
I just don't particularly think that her network is uplifting.
You don't like trash TV?
Not like that. She's definitely
trash TV.
She's definitely. So yes, fine. So fine.
You don't enjoy trash TV.
But she's definitely.
You watch YouTube shows.
Not that. No, I don't.
Yes, you do. It was you I was talking about, the random ghetto Atlanta YouTube shows.
But I didn't say I watched them. I said I've seen them with other people. But to be fair, there's some characters on Zeus Network. You're like, there are serious mental, emotional issues. And then she's capitalizing on stuff that she knows her and Ray J and the rest of them.
Yes, I had said something about that for the simple fact, because I was watching Bad Boys, the Houston audition.
Yeah.
And now, granted, I was entertained.
I mean, yes.
But the fact that they're literally capitalizing off of just people's mental disorders is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, apparently the new Bad Boy season, Orlando's going to be on there from That's So Raven, and they know he has mental health issues, but you're just profiting off of that. Like, that's what I don't like.
I want to always.
And wait, pause.
No, please.
And he was in jail. Do you know Zeus bailed him? It was like a.
Are you serious?
Come here.
It's like a quid pro quo. Like this is perfect.
Yeah, like they bailed him out.
Yeah, that's stupid.
To try to like reel him in.
And that's why I also like have tried to
allegedly. I think that's right. Yeah, I ain't finna sue me, Zeus.
And I'm not gonna say that I don't watch these trash shows. They're not my habit, but I will say I think I have I strive to live a life of integrity and social uplift, and so to even like engage, like watch this shit is crazy. Like even sometimes like some shit on like Real Housewives of Atlanta, like and so much or Potomac, whatever. I feel less convicted about because I'm like these are also people who like have resources around them. They know what they're doing.
They're the upper echelon.
Yeah, exactly. There's the level of.
We know you're an elitist and a Republican.
And what are you?
I'm not that. I'm down to earth.
I've seen your wallet. Neither here nor there.
Ooh.
Anyway,
it's empty, huh?
That neat pop was 30 on me. But like you know, but the element of exploitation is not there, and so like shows like Zoo.
Is it not?
They getting paid a bet. Like so, but like the Bravo shows, there may be exploitation.
But they're not getting paid nothing.
But at least exactly like on Zeus, they ain't getting paid shit. Like
it's like free exploitation. We're using you at this point.
They're literally getting on a bus and going to clubs and turning up for like
and then fighting.
I'm like, how much money are y'all really fucking making? Like on the show, like Jocelyn's Cabaret, them girls they did all that for $10,000. It's like what?
That was my refund check in one semester.
Yes, and that money gonna be gone. Like what are you talking about? It's inflation going up. Like what are you doing? So, I don't be fuck with that. I know you do.
Ooh.
But I'm glad you invited me. This was like super dope. I'm glad. I hope I was very transparent.
Well, I should be asking if you had a good time because this is my podcast. So I'm hoping that I'm still learning. You're my second guest. This is all trial and error.
You don't need to talk about that.
But you know, I'm hoping that I made it, comfortable for you to enjoy, and you enjoyed the snacks and you enjoyed the champagne. The $3 champagne bottle that I did get.
It works.
It worked. Okay.
Listen, I keep telling him, it's a really, really dope venture. Be proud of what you're doing.
Thank you.
Get out of your head. Mm-hmm. This is this natural kind of you allowed it to naturally bubble up out of you. These are gonna be really great conversations. They're very substantive. They have fun on the side. I'm very proud. I was very proud to be a part of this. To be your second interview. One day, if I, am on America's Most Wanted.
Not America's Most Wanted.
They'll show this. But thank you. I'm glad you're.
Of course.
And please invite me back.
Of course.
I'll send you my booking link. The first one was free. The other one,
I'll
have I have a rider with some kind of requirements.
Oh please.
I mean,
you're only gonna want.
Well, I would have wanted some Jenny's ice cream here.
Oh wow.
But we can work on it.
This will do for right now.
It was acceptable. It was serviceable.
I have another podcast. You can go now.
Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.